3DS game, which is technically a remake of Metroid 2. But even it's confusing beyond that because it has like a lot of 3D elements.
Well, I mean, it's like 2.5D. Like you're not. There's no 3D gameplay as far as I saw. I played like the first 15 or 20 minutes of the game.
Yeah,
and it was all 2D. You know, like you have a 2D map that you're not going in and out of planes or anything like that.
But in the trailer, it had like some crazy finishing moves where Samus would like grab the character and the camera would change perspective.
If the enemy zooms in on you, you have like kind of a quick time button press that you can do to like finish them off real quick.
Is that?
And I think actually the scene you're talking about is just the tutorial for how to do that.
Oh, interesting.
I could, unless they showed a bunch and I'm just not remembering. Did they have like a montage of like different camera angles?
Tutorial then, yeah.
Yeah, and which by the way, that counter move is very cool. Like you just basically it's like a melee attack, and if you time it right, and the window is pretty generous to time it, and you immediately start shooting, it's like an instant kill, and it feels really good. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, overall impressions from what you played, what do you think?
They had to like. They're like, all right, time to stop playing, and I just like I kept because the way that they just
bit their hands
like a rabid dog.
That's right. Well, they gave me like the beginning of the game, so I was just like making progress, and then they're like, all right, well you defeated that Metroid, so it's time to move on, and I was like, okay, and I just wanted to keep playing, and I kept playing until Kit had to take
this is Nintendo employee
yeah,
Kit Ellis. So I mean, the easy comparison is like Mercury Steam making a 2.5D. Metroidvania, some would say. Yeah. Maybe the first half. They made the 3DS Castlevania that I can't remember the
Mirror
name
of Fate.
And they did Lords of Shadow, both Lords of Shadow.
Yeah, Mirror of Fate seems like such an easy analogy here. And you played that, right, Kyle?
I did, yeah.
Are there comparisons there?
I mean, they're both 2.5D. They both, I mean, Mirror of Fate was not as Metroid-y or however you want to phrase it, like classic Igarashi Castlevania-esque as I thought it would be. Yeah. It felt more like an action game with some backtracking and gating. But I mean, I'm curious to play Metroid more and see if there's more comparisons to be drawn. But it seems like a pretty good fit. Like Mercury Steam seems like a good.
If anybody's
to do it.
nervous out there because like they didn't like the Lords of Shadow games or whatever,
or just going through a tough time in their lives.
Yeah, just I don't know what's going on with your parents or your spouse. But if you're nervous at all about this game, like the formula is pretty much all there in the original game. Like they're updating the visuals, but like in terms of like the bones, like the structure, like that's pretty solid.
Yeah,
still.
fan
like,
made
that's
it,
there.
And these are professional developers.
Well, I mean, the obvious comparison is another Metroid II remake that came out
Nintendo
last year.
shut the F down.
And now it kind of makes sense. Like, yeah, of course they would because they probably had this in development at the time. But I played that last year. And it's pretty good still, and like that's very faithful, more faithful I think than this is. So,
seems that way, yeah.
But just it kind of proved that the structure of Metroid 2 still holds up.
Yeah, for sure. Finally, it's liberated from that ugly Game Boy.
Yeah, I mean, the chrysalis. It's like a Metroid. It's like being birthed.
I mean, the easy question is: this just everything that Metroid fans have wanted? Everybody's happy.
Well, yeah, after 20 minutes, sure. I don't know.
I mean, are they? But they are firing on all cylinders now. Just shut up, Metroid crowd. You have everything in theory you want. I worry about like the action scenes.
There are things like you have new mechanics. You know, like the blocking and stuff, or the countering, and then they have this thing where you can kind of ping to scan. Not like Metroid Prime scan, but you kind of scan the world, and that's how you build your map. And it's actually based on a meter that you can recharge like by killing enemies is like how much you can use this ping.
Oh boy.
And it highlights things in the environment that can be broken. Yeah. So like maybe that wall that wasn't totally clear that you could shoot through it and get to a new area, like you can now ping it and it'll be highlighted. Yeah. And I like one thing is I worry does that make it too handholdy and too easy? Like I didn't feel like I was ever running out of that ping juice, or I think that's what they call it.
It is handheld.
I know I shouldn't complain.
Oh, here we go.
Here it comes.
Here we go.
But it's just like when they showed off that new 2D Metroid, that's awesome, and then they're like, "Oh, it's a remake of 2," and I'm like, my heart sunk just a little.
Really?
Like,
so many people haven't played Metroid 2 though.
But I have. I mean, it's all about me.
Naturally, go on.
But they are remaking like my least favorite Metroid, and it's like, well, all right, it'll be kind of nice to replay it with a new coat of paint. Yeah. After replaying it with a new coat of paint last year, so. But it is like, hopefully this will sell. Hopefully it'll be what Metroid fans want it to be, so that Nintendo's like, oh, we should keep making these and make a new one this time.
It is wild that Nintendo can go from just last year making Metroid Prime Federation Forces to so quickly. It seems like they needed like a couple years to like gestate and be like, okay, let's reformulate. Fans didn't like that, but like the next big opportunity for announcements for them to come out of the gate swinging with not only Metroid Prime 4 but this. Like that's a solid lineup.
I asked them how long it had been in development, which is a question I've asked like Nintendo developers in the past, and they're always coy about it. Like they don't want to they don't want to say how long a game has been in development. And that was the same case here. They were just like, oh, we've been working on it. It's fun.
You have to imagine for a while though.
Yeah, I mean, I think at least a year, right?
At least since January, when we asked Miyamoto
came out
for a 2D Metroid.
I think we.
Why haven't we brought that up? I mean, us three right here, we made this happen.
Please don't say that. So you interviewed the producer, director.
Yes.
Did you learn anything interesting there?
Not a ton.
Okay.
I'm still going back through the interview, and hopefully I'll have a story up soon. But that game seems cool. I really like what I played a lot. I am very excited for it. It was probably now, last night we did our top 5 surprises.
Yeah.
In retrospect now, like even beyond Metroid Prime 4, I think that was a bigger surprise for me.
For sure.
Yeah. So.
I know I just complained about it, but I am very excited to play this game. And like the nice thing is it's like in September. It's like right around the corner.
Yeah,